Welcome back to the Get Fed podcast. In this episode, we're going to review the role of luck in business, both why it's more relevant than we might think and why it's so overlooked. I'm JB. Let's get to eating. I'm JB, master presenter, former Fortune 50 sales executive, and your guide for everything sales and productivity.
I'm the doctor, Dr. Andre Caruso, a clinical psychologist and your resident expert in behavior, mindset, and wellness.
We hope you're hungry.
It's time to get fed by JB and the doctor.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm JB. Welcome back to the Get Fed podcast. Super excited to be on the show today. We're going to be talking about a topic that I believe might be one of the more overlooked concepts in business today, and it's the role of luck in business. And I say this because it's a funny paradigm. When we have bad experiences, we'll often point to bad luck and accuse bad luck of being the reason for it. And if we have good performances, it's rare that we want to point to luck. Well, that would mean it's not us, it was luck. And yet it's really fascinating because statistically, luck may play a much larger role in the success of a business than we give it credit for. And whether you're a new business owner or you're a seasoned business owner, this is something really important to understand. And so we're going to dive right into it. So let's talk a little bit about luck and why this is coming up. I want to discuss luck because so often as business owners, we're making decisions, and we have to make decisions on a regular basis with limited information, which isn't always a bad thing. Statistically, it's better to have less information than more. There comes a point, really, once you get past 3 pieces of information, where it's actually less helpful for you and more likely and more apt to make a poor choice because you have too much information, you have too much input there, and it negatively impacts your decision making. But it really made me think, what is the role of luck in business, and what does it mean to be lucky in business? And I'm going to bring this all the way back to one of my favorite books on one of my favorite subjects. This is about behavioral finance. This is about Daniel Kahneman, Thinking Fast and Slow, which I find to be one of the most fascinating books I've ever read through in my life. And I highly encourage anybody who hasn't read it to check it out, because Daniel Kahneman is a brilliant man who does a tremendous amount of research into companies like Google to see why they're so successful. And Google might not want to hear it, and a lot of us might not want to hear it, but Google is a paradox in that they made all the right decisions time after time after time. And it really begs the question and suggests that Google, yes, has some of the smartest people in the world that's worked for them, and they've done the absolutely phenomenal job for the most part. But statistically, they got lucky sooner or later. The fact that they made these right decisions, and the right decision, not a decision, but the right decision over and over and over again when their competitors did not. And is it a function of all these brilliant people that work at Google, or is it just statistical improbability, i.e. luck? And the results, statistically speaking, suggest that it's luck. And so it forces us as business owners to kind of take a look at things and say, hey, is the success that we're seeing, or the failure that we're seeing, is it as much to do with us, or is it just those things outside of our control? Luck. Nobody wants to turn around and say, I didn't have an influence that I know. And yet that's what we're suggesting might be the case here. And it's interesting. You've got studies that show, hey, luck might only be 10% of the picture. And then you've got other studies that show, hey, luck could account for more than 30% of success. And there's actual case studies for this. When you look at the music industry, for example, really interesting study, people who had hits in the top 20, so really big hits at the time, were a whole lot less likely to have long-term success than the people who had hits that fell between 20 and 30 or 20 and 40. Why is that? Why is it that somebody who could release a top song doesn't have the same long-term lasting effect as somebody who has achieved less success in an individual song? And it's because that person with the hit is probably an outlier. And so it's probably more about luck than anything else. And this can especially hold true when it comes to anybody who's trying to innovate. And innovation is a big deal. Trying to change something, do something different. And the reason for that is it's novel, it's new. There's no way for us to predict what's going to happen. And I'll say that knowing that past performance is never indicative of future performance. It can't be, because things change over time. So luck to me is really interesting in business, and there's a difference. I think I want to appreciate between blind luck. That's the luck where it's literally out of left field. It just could happen to anybody. And then strategic luck. And what do I mean by that? Well, I could give you an example where strategic luck is I am so active that I am making opportunities and thus I am creating luck. That would be strategic luck, for example. Luck, whereas pure chance blind luck might just be, hey, I walked into the room and there happened to be the CEO of a company who's now buying my products, and all of a sudden my business is 10x what it was before. A little bit of a difference there, right? So there's strategic luck versus blind luck, but they do play a role. And we've seen this over the years with a lot of different businesses. The other types of luck that we could look at, there's hustle luck I mentioned. There's luck by discernment, the ability to identify opportunities. There's creative luck. The luck that comes from being creative and looking at things for a different way. Why does it matter, though? Well, if you're new to business, it's important to appreciate that sometimes what we see and the evidence that we see isn't a pattern that we can actually draw intelligence from. Sometimes we just get statistical improbabilities and we get unlucky. And sometimes we need luck to succeed. And that's a really important thing to understand as a small business owner that's relatively new in your business. It does take hard work. It does take relationships. It takes technical competence. These are all really table stakes. It also takes luck. And if you're a seasoned business owner, the big takeaway might just be, hey, some of what I've done and some of where I've gotten to today are because of luck. And if I want to continue to have success and the type of success I've had in the past, I need to not just be lucky, but I need to recognize where I can build myself good luck and how I can avoid bad luck. And this is really, again, goes back to hustle. It goes to discernment. It goes to strategy. It goes to mindset, the way we think, because those of us who are looking for luck and have the mindset that luck is going to come at us as an opportunity, we will find the luck. And so for a seasoned business owner, it's stepping back, maybe stepping down on our ego a little bit, which many of us do have, and that's okay. But we need to be able to be aware of it. And it's to recognize that luck may have played a larger role than I might like to give it credit for, but also that I have the ability to have a mindset that drives luck either for me or against me. And there's ways we can improve upon this through perpetual learning, adapting to the market, being willing to pivot, having an absolutely acute and increased sense of awareness relative to our competitors. These are all things that we can do to increase our luck. So to summarize here, when I look at success in business and I look at luck, I fall into the camp that a lot of times this has a lot of impact. And you might turn around and lean to the conservative side, say, hey, 10%, that's not a lot of impact. But yes, it's a lot of impact. And you might lean to the aggressive side, hey, this could account for 30% or more of my impact. And that's massive. That is huge. And so luck is something we cannot ignore. It's underappreciated. It's something we don't like to admit to. And yet it's something that we really need to be able to reflect on our own experiences, look around and say, hey, was there bad luck? Was there good luck? And how do I make sure that I minimize the first and I maximize the second? Because I do have some control of that. I don't have control over life. I can't predict the future, but I can control how I look at this, how I perceive this, how I discern and make decisions, all of these things. And I can certainly control how hard I work. Here's what I love. I'd love to just hear from you. What's been your experience with luck in business? If you're being really honest with yourself, I'd love to hear about it. Have you had a Google-like experience where every decision's just been the right decision? And how much can you attribute to luck? Or have you been in an experience where you've had a series of really bad luck? And are you willing to step back and say, hey, that's not on me. That might be something besides me, and that's okay too. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. I'd also love to say, if you haven't already, of course, we do this for you. So more than anything, I'd love for you, if you haven't already, give us a like, give us a subscribe, give us a follow. You can find us on all your major streaming platforms, including on YouTube. Don't miss out. I'll look to include this potentially in our newsletter or our blog coming out for the month of February. In the meantime, I'm JB. I appreciate you listening. Hopefully you got something actionable out of all this. And I wish you all the luck.